Welcome to the China Influencer Marketing Podcast. Each week, we speak with top influencers, marketers, and brands who share their experiences, strategies, and tactics for influencer marketing in China. Here's your host, Lauren Hallanan.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the China Influencer Marketing Podcast. This week, I've brought back our guest all the way from episode 1. His name is Antoine Bunel, and he's one of China's top F&B influencers. In this episode, we discuss some of the big changes that have happened in his career over the past 6 months. The first thing we cover is Douyin. As I'm sure you're all well aware, short video platform Douyin is super popular in China right now. Antoine launched an account on the platform shortly after Chinese New Year this year, and he already has 350,000 followers. Antoine shares his experience and opinions on the platform and gives some advice for integrating branded content into Douyin videos. We also discuss things like Antoine's new creative agency, the travel show that he's producing, and the state of the live streaming industry in China. I love chatting with Antoine, not only because of his vast expertise, but also because of his never-ending enthusiasm for his work. He is really the epitome of a key opinion leader. Before we start, I just want to take a quick moment to thank our sponsor, Parkloo. Parkloo is China's premier influencer marketing platform. Learn more at parkloo.com. And now, onto our interview with Antoine. Well, hi, Antoine. Welcome to the China Influencer Marketing Podcast. I'm really excited to have you back on. Like we said just a moment ago before I hit the record button, it's been 8 months since I had you on the podcast, and a lot has changed because we all know that China moves really fast. So things have changed a lot with you, I think, since then. So I'm really excited to have you back on and explore some different topics.
Yes, well, thanks a lot for having me, Lauren. Indeed, last time we had the chat on the podcast, I really enjoyed it and wanted to do it again with you. So let's see what we can come up with this time.
Yeah. Before we start, since it has been such a long time, do you mind giving a brief introduction, who you are and kind of what you're up to these days?
Oh, I'm the crazy Frenchman known in China as a chef. But my name is Antoine Bunel. I am an influencer in China. I'm actually not a chef, but I'm a big influencer in F&B, in food and lifestyle, and I love cooking. It's one of my huge crazy passions that I turned into some sort of a job because China is opening to Western culture and food is a big part of Western culture.
Yeah, definitely. It's I think you hit it really at the right time, which we discussed a lot in your the first episode, which I'll link to in the show notes so people can go back and hear a bit more about your experience and kind of how you got started and everything. But today I really want to dive right in. So I think everybody who listens to the podcast knows how big Douyin has become over the past couple of months. Last time I had you on the podcast, I don't think anybody was even really talking about Douyin that much. And, since then, this app has just exploded in popularity. And I know that you have started to, put content, create content just for Douyin and put content on Douyin, and that your following has grown tremendously on the app. So I would love to get some of your thoughts on Douyin. So first, I want to know, why did you decide to start using Douyin?
Okay, it's a good topic because in China, we always have to remember that things move a lot and people cannot stick to the 2015 marketing strategy because within 6 months, sometimes even less than that, the rules change, the platforms change, the trends change. So I had heard about Douyin since the middle end of last year, and I sort of knew that my social media had to evolve because my Weibo has been going on for 5 years now, and I don't have like a ton of fans on Weibo. It's a platform that I still enjoy using. But anyway, I felt like I needed something else. And in February this year, for the Chinese New Year, I decided to play with Douyin because, it's Chinese New Year, not much to do. So I played with Douyin and I thought, wow, it's really addictive. There's lots of content. The interface is really cool. The style is cool. And I thought I can use that for my food lifestyle, sometimes a little bit of comedy, sometimes a little bit of education, kids education topics. And I tried it early March. I started posting 1, 2, 3 videos, and I quickly got some really good interaction. And within 2 months, I had like 200,000 fans. And now it's been 4 months, under 4 months actually, and I have 350,000 fans.
That is crazy. This app is just, it's insane how much the user base has grown. So are you making content specifically for the platform, or are you using the same content that you put on Weibo? How does that work?
So there's a few things I want to say about that. Good content is good content. So there are people on Douyin who are recycling the content that they put on other platforms, and it works, but not for everybody. Douyin is a kind of platform that has its own language, its own ethics or vibe, if you like. For example, they have a lot of very specific camera moves, very specific effects. And these are the ones that get people to go, wow, this is cool, this is special. So for most people who are successful on Douyin, they shoot the content within Douyin. Okay, so we shoot with the phone, we edit on the phone. It's all one take. It's all edited in the phone. But some people upload stuff that they shoot on professional cameras, and it can work too. But for me, I find that the production value is not always necessary. It doesn't always have to be very high, because if the content is cool, it's produced smartly, it can work very well.
Okay. And I want to also ask, like, very specifically, so are you shooting it on your phone with just like the normal camera and doing this, like doing the editing in some kind of editing app and then uploading it to Douyin, or are you actually like within the Douyin app shooting everything and then editing it within the app?
Great question. I'm going to tell you exactly what I do, Lauren, right? I have an assistant and I have my wife. And there's going to be situations where my assistant and my wife are going to use 2 different phones to shoot directly in the phone for 2 different platforms, because there is Douyin and there is the new competitor launched by Tencent called WeChat, which is starting slowly, but it's Tencent, it should grow. Anyway, so I have these 2 ladies shooting me cooking or me doing some stuff with 2 different phones. And then after that, it's all edited and all uploaded from the phones. And then we often do a third take with a professional camera to prepare the Weibo videos. That's the kind of trouble I go through to build multiple formats for multiple platforms.
Right. Okay. And yeah, that's what I thought that you were going to say. So, because I've heard that a lot of people are saying that if you're actually shooting it within the app, like shooting and editing within the app, that the platform will give preference to those videos versus videos that have been uploaded, and they're already completely edited. Have you found that to be true? That's what I've heard from other people. So I'm assuming that's why you're doing it that way.
It's a great question. We actually went to Toutiao, to the head office, to have a meeting with one of the managers there. We wanted to inquire a little bit, and he said that actually they don't give preference, but we're not too sure. What he said though is that they do put blocks on accounts that upload lots of videos. Not shooting from the phone. Who uploads existing videos, if you like. That's because they want to avoid these type of content content thieves who just will download cool videos from YouTube or wherever and then start to upload lots of content to try and build MCNs, for example. So that's what they said to us. But I've seen several accounts that are genuine accounts who upload their own beautifully produced videos like 4K shots and all that, and they do very well as well. So it's not impossible to upload content.
Okay, got it. So really, it sounds like they're trying to control. They want it to be original content more than anything.
They do. I mean, if you look at people who spend some time on Douyin, they will see that even though there's a lot of very different content between the fashion stuff, the dancing, the food, the tricks, the fitness, there's all kinds of content. But there is sometimes still a common language with some tricks in editing or some effects.
Right. And then I'm guessing that you're having two people because you're doing on two different platforms, and they will watermark the video, so you have to shoot it on two different two different phones. Is that why you're doing it that way?
Absolutely. Shoot two different phones, and I had my assistant and my wife with arms locked up to have the same movement and all that. It's kind of crazy, but yeah. Douyin is a cool platform. I mean, I really feel they've managed to build a community spirit because, like if you look at YouTube allows you to upload content and comment, and that's it, right? But Douyin allows you to have more than that because they curate content with the challenges, for example, where they throw themes and challenges that are based on hashtags, and people have to build content based on these hashtags. So this sort of gathers a bit of interest around different things like dancing challenges or whatever. So this is a cool trick. Plus, Douyin has got one highly addictive feature, which is the homepage swipe. You just can spend countless hours swiping for the next video. This is a really smart, really effective, if not dangerous interface.
Yeah, definitely. I've done that. I've been like flipping through it. I'm like, what? Half an hour later? How'd that happen? So
you mean 3 hours later?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Luckily, I haven't gone that long, but yeah. So I mean, you were pointing out some positive things about the platform. I would love to hear a little bit more of like pros and cons as a content creator on the platform. What are some things that you feel like they're doing well, and then some things that they could be improving on?
Douyin has got great engagement. For me, that was the biggest thing from the start, is that when I started posting videos, I had lots of comments. And, I'm a KOL, I'm an influencer, I work with brands. This is my living, this is my job. And seeing that people are interested and ask questions about what I do really means a lot to me. It means that I'm doing something that is interesting for them, and that's where I'm excited. I wanna influence. I wanna encourage people to cook, to have a healthy, happy lifestyle. So this was great. The engagement is really high. Another plus, it's fun to use and lots of effects, so it's quite creative. The negatives, not too many, but I felt that there isn't really a way to to focus your work on topics, because even though they have the hashtags, I don't think it's used very much, and they don't really separate the communities like, hey, find your food bloggers or etc. I don't really see this type of category management built in. Maybe it's something they will do more about, but for now, I find that I think a lot of people swipe on the homepage and I have 350,000 followers, but the number of people who watch my new videos is not that high sometimes. So I don't think that a lot of users will always look at the videos from the people they follow. Right, that's one thing that is sometimes a little bit difficult to deal with.
Yeah, I've heard that from a couple people saying that it's a little bit random. One video will do really well, and then maybe the next few are okay, but nowhere near as good. And then all of a sudden they get another video that does really well. And sometimes it's really not up to how good your content is. It's really just whether or not the algorithm or whatever was able to pick it up, and your video appeared on like the home page or something like that. Because like you said,
Yes.
it's really hard. Even if you're following people, you have to, it takes some several clicks to try and find the people that you're following, like, and look at their profile and go through their videos. It's not a simple, I think they're trying to keep you on that like homepage of just discovering new things.
Yes, the swipe feature on the homepage. So that's a little bit challenging, but it's still okay. But yes, the algorithm is a little bit mysterious. So there isn't the type of regularity in the views that you might want to expect from a brand side. But that's what it is, and we tell brands. And we work with it. But altogether, it's a great platform. Plus, it's still fairly recent, so I'm very confident they're going to keep building on it and improving on it.
Yeah, I know that it's. I think it's hard because they've grown so quickly. I'm sure that they have a massive list of things that they want to work on and improve, and they can only get so much done every day. They've grown at such a rapid rate that I don't think they can keep up with everything that they want to get done. I'm sure.
It's still a big team. I mean, it's under the ByteDance Toutiao umbrella. We met one high-level manager there, and these guys are really, really smart, and they're really, really in. So I'm really confident into what they're doing. Plus, so far the competition for short video isn't quite as cool as Douyin. Douyin is cool. That's the thing. It really is more than just a platform for uploading. It's a creative platform with a community spirit. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I actually I read a study that came out in April, and they had actually interviewed a lot of consumers, and they were talking about the reputation of these different apps and how, for example, Kuaishou has a lot of users too, but the reputation of Kuaishou is completely different, in users' eyes. Like you said, when they think of Douyin, they think of like trendy, cool, young, hip, that like those kinds of words. And then, when they think of Kuaishou, they think of, like Jiedi Qi, like down to earth, very localized, things like that. So I thought that was, I definitely agree that, all the young trendy kids are over on Douyin. You mentioned brands, just that, with the different view counts on videos, it can be a little bit difficult working with brands. So have you worked with brands on the platform, and how's that experience been?
Well, for the first 2 months, I didn't take any brands. I wanted to play with the platform and build the followers. But as I saw that the followers were growing a lot, I mean, 350 fans in a few months is really huge. 350,000 fans. So yes, we've eventually accepted to work with brands, and we've worked with about 4 or 5 brands for now. Really, really amazing stuff. Actually, I'm really happy because the brands are happy. The content is pretty cool. And what we've done is we've worked directly with brands in several cases where we came up with the creative content. We executed, and it's really good. We worked with a long-term client doing butter company doing recipes. We worked with an high-end olive oil company doing also really healthy food recipe. We worked with a very famous jam brand from France doing a mixture of cool videos, creative videos, and lifestyle videos. So it's been really enjoyable.
Because the format is so different than maybe what brands are used to, do you have any kind of recommendations of how do you in such a short video, are you focusing mostly on like brand awareness? Is there anything that like, I don't know, I'm just really curious of how you're incorporating this brand in such a short video without compromising like the content. You don't want to be just like all about the brand. So yeah, I would love to hear your thoughts on that.
It's very simple. It's always finding the right balance between on one side being brand heavy and risking frustration and low views, or on the other side being crazy with very little brand value and having more views but less brand value. So it's between these two extremes that we have to work. Obviously, the more funny it is, the cooler it is, the more it's likely to attract people, and they will press like and they will comment, and which will increase the views through the algorithm. But obviously, if we do too funny and the brand is not very much seen, well, it's frustrating for the brand. So we try and find the right average. We've done some videos with some big comedy elements, and that's worked pretty well. But also I've done videos with my kids. He's quite popular online.
Yeah, I'm sure that I've seen you put him on a lot of like the cover images of your videos. I'm sure that draws a lot of eyeballs.
Yes, well, I'm a father, and this is part of where I try and bring value to my fans by talking about education. And for those who don't have children, well, they still like to think about the day when they will have children. So this is where, I don't want to be just the foreigner showing a pretty face or whatever. I want to give value to the people who follow me, and they know that I'm passionate about food and I'm passionate about life. I'm this big positive guy, and that's what I want to transmit to people.
Definitely.
And now it's time for this week's Parkloo Influencer Marketing Insights. While KOL marketing is a powerful tool, the glut of content on social media means sponsored posts tend to be a flash in the pan. Efforts are especially fleeting when brands haven't developed KOL marketing strategies that extend to search engine optimization. SEO, search engine optimization, SSO, social search optimization, and ESO, e-commerce search optimization, maximize the effects of KOL campaigns and improve general search rankings. In turn, brands with robust search engine optimization can gain authority, increase consumer confidence, and receive more traffic. Traditional search engines are indexing many social media networks' posts, like Weibo and Xiaohongshu, which can have significant impact on a brand's searchability if properly optimized. WeChat is poised to be the mobile search engine of the future. Optimizing influencer posts for search should become standard practice. To read this article from Parkloo or to find other insights, visit us at chinainfluencermarketing.com/Parkloo. Enjoy the rest of the podcast.
So I want to kind of switch topics and talk about something else, which I know has been pretty important for you this year, which is that you've kind of transitioned some of your work, from what I understand, into less of the KOL side and more of the agency side. I know that you've been starting to work with brands more from this angle. So could you tell us a little bit about that? I had interviewed you earlier in the year for an article that I wrote on this topic, because I do see that there's not a lot of, but it's a trend that's starting, that a lot of not a lot of that some influencers are starting to open their own creative agencies, and so I would love to dive into that and hear how it's going for you.
Yes, absolutely. For us, it's a natural step, and I say us because my wife is involved more and more now, and I have an assistant who does video editing. So we are in the process of starting our agency. Hey. And we've registered a company. We are looking at still some legal aspects of company registration, tax situation, etc., etc. So this is important because even though I am working with creative agencies, and I will keep on doing that, I am from time to time working directly with the clients, which is a relationship that I enjoy because I am a creative guy. I don't need to just be given a script, but I can do that. I like doing that as well. But I like coming up with campaigns ideas. I have more than 10 years experience doing global media. I have more than 3 years experience as a professional KOL influencer in China. So I like to talk with the clients. I like to shape a campaign. And the idea is we're going to recruit more people and produce more of our own content. I want, in fact, to produce my own TV or online shows.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. Yeah, I didn't know you were thinking about that as well. Is that something that you would produce on your own and then bring brands in as sponsors, or how would that work?
I want to do a travel show. That's one of my concepts, where I'm going to travel around France to start with and introduce the French regions, the food, the culture to the Chinese. And it's going to be with my family. I want to do a family travel food show that I want to promote in China. And hopefully we're going to have some good views. And then I would like to work with brands. I already have some ideas how to do that.
That sounds like it's going to be popular. You've got like all the elements of a good show right there, especially for a Chinese audience.
Yeah, plus the Chinese tourists are already very familiar with Paris, so I want to show them the real beauty of the French countryside, things that they don't imagine, the really high-end restaurants and hotels completely lost in the countryside, the amazing museums and food markets, all kinds of things that the Chinese can go and experience in the West. And hopefully, if that goes well, I would like to expand to other territories as well. We've already shot a pilot in Italy last month. We were in Tuscany. It was amazing. We're invited by a big wine group, and we're going to collaborate with them again to do more content for them. So really amazing stories. And because we are really a cool, happy family, there's a lot of happy moments that we get on camera, and there's a lot of like lifestyle content for people who have kids or who don't have kids, for fun stuff that they can do abroad.
Yeah, I want to watch it. Sounds interesting. Sounds fun.
Thanks, Lauren.
So for the agency type work that you've done so far, or that you're looking to do in the future, are you? I mean, I guess other than F&B, are you specializing in any industries or any specific type of content or any specific platforms? Like, are you specializing at all, or have you still working on that?
So I am not locked into F&B. It's my core, right? Food is my core. But I've done really big shows for family education. Recently, I've worked with Jingdong on huge product launches for actually a French brand, doing kids milk powder and kids nappies and kids milk bottles, and we've had millions and millions of views, and even we've had millions of RMB of sales. I was given the figures. It's really incredible sales on a live stream on JD.com with celebrities. I was shooting with Huo Seyan, who's a really famous actress in China, and then I was hosting the show, and she was my guest. And this is really a good experience for me. No food involved, talking about Western culture, talking about the quality lifestyle that the Chinese want, and doing all that in Chinese with a celebrity. It's a great experience because it gives me a lot of credibility, a lot of face. I mean, I let you imagine a 2 hours live stream on Jingdong. It's live. It's one of the biggest e-commerce platforms in China. I've got a massive celebrity next to me. There's big pressure. I have a big script. It's a lot of work to prepare. And then when we're live, we've got to smile. We've got to go ahead. And whatever happens, it's got to be smooth till the end.
Yeah.
So It's really high pressure, high intensity, but I love it. It's amazing. We work a lot with the client to rehearse everything like crazy. And on the day, I put on my performer face on and I go for it. And it's tough, but I love it. I really love it. And it's part of what I want to do more and more. I'm a cultural ambassador. I'm lucky to be in this position, but I have a variety of things that I do, from the food to the lifestyle to being a host or a guest. And now I'm getting closer to some institutions like the French Embassy, like some Michelin or other food associations. So there's a lot of cultural work that I want to do aside from the commercial work. So I hope that within the years I'm going to grow into somebody that a lot of people will come to or will work with to build cultural and commercial projects across China and Europe.
Yeah, I love that you have that attitude, and I think that's what really separates you as what we call a KOL, a key opinion leader, versus just a Wang Hong, like an internet celebrity content creator, is that you have this bigger mission and purpose, and you're really looking to educate people, and not only just entertain them, but to educate and to have this like communication between you and your audience. So I think that's like a very clear example of kind of the difference between a KOL and then just an internet celebrity. But since you did bring up the topic of live streaming, I would love to talk about your thoughts on the live streaming industry, because I know that you were doing a lot of live streaming for brands last year, and I used to be still kind of am, very into the live streaming industry. And there's been a lot of change this year. It seems like the market is really matured. Everybody's very focused on short video like Douyin and some of these other platforms. And so I want to hear your opinion. Is the demand for live streaming still there? Has anything changed for you in this regard over the past couple of months?
About live streaming, I see that there's a little bit of a reduction in the amount of live streaming that I do, and I think it's the same for many other people. Live streaming is still an interesting format, but I think it's not as hot as it used to be, but it maintains relevance in some situations. For me, the best live streaming that I do is when I do it with like Jingdong or Alibaba, because these guys will push that, and we sure to have great results, and we have a big team behind, so it's produced professionally. It's amazing stuff. When I talk about live streaming with Jingdong, it's a really big production with lots of cameras, with professional equipment. It's amazing stuff. So I enjoy doing that with the big companies. I do it a bit less on my own, but let's see. In China, we always have to keep flexibility with formats.
Do you think that the companies like Jingdong or Alibaba, and the brands that are working with them, do you think they're still seeing results with live streaming in the way that they were last year?
I'm not sure about numbers, but I'm sure companies will be able to show big numbers. That's what they do. But for me, I'm pushing the short video this year. And when I'm in short, Douyin short is 15 to 30 seconds, and I still do some middle short, like 2 minutes on Weibo.
Okay, got it. And then you said you're not doing like live streaming on your own really anymore, mostly just if it's these brand collaborations. Is that correct?
Yes, indeed. A lot less by myself.
Okay. Yeah. No, I mean, that's what I see. I see a lot of people doing. It's kind of the trend that's going on. But I do still think that the e-commerce, I think that e-commerce live streaming, like you said, with these big platforms is still seems to be, a very popular way to promote products. But I like you said, I think it needs to be more, it needs to be on these specific e-commerce live streaming platforms versus like the other channels. Like the other channels are kind of strictly for entertainment, it seems like these days. So that's interesting to hear that kind of your viewpoint on it. Is there anything else that you kind of see going on in this world that you think is really noteworthy? Just any trends in China that you think people should know about?
Any friends in China that people should know about?
Other than Douyin?
Oh, any trends other than Douyin? I've seen the emergence of Weishi recently, which is the competitor to Douyin. I'm exploring that, but so far, Mamanlai, so far, it's taking baby steps. I think that the hot platform to look at right now is Red, Xiaohongshu. I'm hearing so much about it, and I just read today that Alibaba invested $300 million into it. So I'm going to build my account tomorrow.
Yeah.
I have already a discussion with an agency about it, and I think that's with the audience being mostly female and girls who love a man who cooks. So I'm, hoping I'm going to do well on it.
Yeah, and especially if you're already doing, I think like children's products, like mommy baby stuff is pretty popular on there. So I think that you might get some, you might do well in that area as well, since you already do so much family related content. But yeah, that's a platform that I'm really looking into these days, and I've been exploring, and I'm planning on starting to put content on there as well and see how it goes. I've been watching it for a while, and I just have yet to pull the trigger, but I really need to get on it, because I think that that platform has a lot of potential as well. I'm actually having someone on the podcast soon who's kind of an expert in Xiaohongshu and Red to talk to us about the specifics of the platform. So I'm really excited for that.
Yes, indeed. Same. Good luck.
Yeah. So, well, thank you so much for coming on. I know you've got a lot going on these days. So if people want to get in touch with you, what's the best way that they can do that? How can they reach you?
So for Westerners who want to get in touch, LinkedIn is actually a cool platform, because I am a digital media strategist. So I always have this business mind, and LinkedIn is a great platform to keep in the know with what's going on. If people want to find me, they can find me on LinkedIn, Antoine Bunel. That's where I'm active. Otherwise, of course, my Chinese platforms, but people can Baidu my name, can Google my name. I have a lot of articles about me in Chinese, some in the Western media as well. And it's a pleasure to talk with all kinds of people.
Okay, great. Well, thank you so much, and have a good evening.
Thank you, Lauren, and see you soon, hopefully.
Yeah, you too. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Hi, everyone. I hope you enjoyed that interview with Antoine. You can find links to his LinkedIn page, as well as some of the things that we discussed during the interview, in the show description or in the show notes on ChinaInfluencerMarketing.com. I'd love to hear what you thought of the episode. You can leave me a comment on ChinaInfluencerMarketing.com or add me on LinkedIn and chat with me there. If you liked this episode and know somebody else who might like it too, don't forget to share it. Thanks, and talk to you next week.